Hey, hey, we are going live. We are live. Cause we gotta hear this. If you feel like happiness is the truth, because if you know what happiness is to you, because I'm happy I'm alone. If you feel like that's what you want to do. All righty. I have to go in because it is all about being happy. It is all about, you know what? It's life has so many things, and we have seen so much in the last 10 months here in this world, things that we never thought we would see. Feel losses, everything, all the negative, but we got some positive.
Yes.
So I'm gonna ride on the positive today.
Yes.
And it is our second virtual career expo. And this evolved out of a negative to make it to a positive. We want to connect, we want to close the workforce gap. So hi everybody, I am Dr. Teresa Price. I'm the founder of National College Resources Foundation. I want you to know that our mission is to curtail high school dropout rate and increase enrollment to degree and/or certificate programs among underserved, underrepresented, at-risk, low-resource, homeless, and foster students, with a vision to close the workforce gap. That's what we're talking about today. Close the educational achievement gap and close the economic gap. With the vision, the goal overall, the goal to end racism and racial inequalities. So today is about positive. Today is about connecting you. Today is about elevating you. Today is about giving you so you can absorb everything. And talking about absorption, this young lady right here, this is my partner, my sister. They are a sponsor, but you know what? They're not a sponsor. They're more than a sponsor. They're a partner. We have a relationship. We work weekends.
We do. We do
it because you know what? I believe in what they're doing. So I'm gonna you have to meet and we want to thank the U.S. Army, ROTC, for riding with us for almost 22 years. And I've met some beautiful roses, and this is one right here. And I'll let her introduce herself and tell them why you're here today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Crayonta West. I'm with the United States Army, and we are so blessed to be here today. And I want to talk to you about some opportunities that the Army gave me. So I'm going to tell my story and show you how my story can become your story. And then at the same time, we're going to rule out some myths that people hear a lot of times about the Army. We're going to dispel all that. And I want to give you the same resources and opportunities that was given to me. So just a little bit about myself. Lieutenant Colonel Crayonta West. I've been in the military for 20 years. I graduated from Virginia State University as a ROTC cadet. My father was in the military. He did 20 years, and I got the chance and the opportunity to be raised abroad. When I was young, just to give you a little bit of background about my family, my father, when you talk about, old stories, your dad used to say, we used to walk to school. That was my father's story. But my father joined the military. And what that did for us was open opportunities for us to see the world. So my dad, by him joining, took us out. We had the opportunity to be raised abroad. And because I was raised abroad, I got to move away from my hometown of Petersburg, Virginia. Shout out to Petersburg and Virginia State University. But it opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities that I would have never knew that was out there. And that's from being a dependent and seeing my father travel. And so when it was time for me to go in, because I had seen so much more, I wanted more. And I knew that the Army had something good for me. One of the things that I wanted to know, well, how would I, pay for college? And that's what the Army gave me. So when I went into ROTC, when I graduated from high school, I got me an ROTC scholarship. Now, just to give you a little bit about me, my high school scores, I wasn't that competitive. And to be honest, I didn't even know if I was even ready for college. but I had somebody that spoke life into my situation. And I was so grateful that the ROTC program gave me a chance to prove myself. And so what that did for me is it opened up a career path. So the Army has over 300 careers, 16 branches for officers, but it has benefits to pay for college. For me, college tuition was paid for. You're talking about skill training. You talk about 100% medical and dental. You're talking about 30 days paid vacation, pay raises each year. And then for me coming out, as a graduate from Virginia State, only with 4 years, I could get a home loan. So these are things that you don't really know or understand until you get to that level. But you're talking about from somebody that didn't even know that they could even qualify to go to college, to stepping into opportunities based on the Army that allowed me 4 years out, first unit, and people are calling me ma'am. These are people that were old enough to be my parents. Being able to see the world, I got to drink tea with British soldiers in Saudi Arabia. Who would have thought? As 4 years out, I mean just 2 years out of graduating from college, I'm briefing generals on a threat. I mean, those are opportunities that most students or most people don't know that the Army can provide to you. And it's not just, people think when they think Army, they just think combat arms, but there's so many different opportunities. We got, lawyers, doctors, public affairs. They even have band. You got cyber.
Oh yeah, the Army band is off the chain. Oh yeah, you got cyber. Yeah, so
phenomenal. Cybersecurity, aviation. If you can dream it, I guarantee you we have it. So the Army has so many different ways to help you meet your education and career goals. Whatever career you can think about, I guarantee you there's a slot and there's a place in the Army for you. And you come with your skills. But my goal today was to give you the information and the opportunity. Because a lot of times what separates us from those that we see in the limelight is just information and opportunity. Given the same information, given the same opportunity, you can have a very similar outcome. That's the only difference. So my goal today and the Army's goal today is to present you with enough information. You tell us what you want to do and we'll show you how the Army can help you complete your goals.
That's right. And I fell in love because I had a chance to not only, work with you guys, but go to the facility and see all the programs. And then when the thing that topped it off for me is I have two students, because we've been doing this 22 years. And so we have some recent graduates of Howard Med School, two students, they're doctors now. And one went through the Army ROTC program and the other one didn't know or didn't do it. Well, the one that went to the Army ROTC, no debt. She's a gynecologist right now in Georgia. The other one, almost $400,000 of debt. So it's like, I just want people to understand the benefits. And I feel like my purpose here on earth is to be a vessel for young people. So it's about sharing information that you can have so that, because everybody's trying to figure out how to pay for things. Like even in the career fairs, we're talking about careers today and it's the Career Expo. But you guys have over 300 different career fields.
300 different.
Yeah, and if you want to get your undergrad, or say you already have that, and you want to look at your master's or doctorate, or you want to be a lawyer, go through the program. All you do is just be a lawyer for the U.S. Army first. And if you decide, most people like Lieutenant West, Colonel West.
Yes.
Lieutenant Colonel West, they just like, when she told me her benefits, you guys, I was like, wow, let me sign me up.
There's a lot of, when you talk about, say for instance, because I know it's some that say, hey, I'm not ready for college, right? I'm not really ready for college right now. So maybe later on, but I don't want to stop pursuing a career. You can go in enlisted and then go to college later on. That's what my father did. He went enlisted. And the other benefit for that is Montgomery GI Bill. That's 100% tuition that you can, if you didn't want to take it for yourself, right? Say for instance, the money's so good when you enlist in, you can also pass that on to your children. For instance, for me, not only did the Army pay for my scholarship for college, but they gave me a Montgomery GI Bill. So I have two kids. I'm praying that they don't bust through the doors at any minute. But 2 kids that I get to pass that on. So not only did I really have to pay too much into mine, but I get to pass it on to my kids. Now, what type of career does that?
Right. And the thing is, I want to talk to the people today too, and we'll close with this. There are people on right now that are in college already, or they might have just graduated. What are some of the things you might want to share with them? They might be in right now. They might be in engineering. So if they're in school right now, or say they just recently graduated, or say they've been out for a few years, what are the 3 things for each one of those age groups that you would share?
So if they're in high school and they just graduated, I would say first and foremost, I would say go to college. If you're high school, you just graduated, go to college, and then check out your ROTC program to see what they have to offer. Right? If you have already been out of high school,
you're in college. Say you're in college right now, and you're a sophomore, junior. You're in college right now.
Run to your ROTC program. Run and pursue a scholarship, ROTC scholarship. You don't have to pay for if you qualify, that's the rest of your college paid for. Pursue a ROTC scholarship. If you and we are looking for STEM majors. We're looking for doctors. We're looking for cyber. We're looking for those that want to make an impact in the world. You don't want to just work, but you want to make an impact. If you're in college right now, go talk to your ROTC department and see what they have. But if you're out, say if you've already graduated, and say, for instance, it's too late for you to join the ROTC program. If you have less than, like I say, 2 years, then you probably won't be able to get into the ROTC program to get the scholarship. But there's other things that you can do. You can also enlist. When I say there, the opportunities and the career fairs that you have, even enlisted, there is so many professional degrees. And then that doesn't mean you can't apply that skill set, that degree that you already have. You can still use that in a holistic career fair. Again, over 300 careers that you can pursue. And then you can still obtain that Montgomery GI Bill. So if you want to pursue a higher degree, right? For instance, for me, I got them to pay for my master's also. It's not just your bachelor's. If you're trying to pursue your master's, there's a program for you, tuition assistant. Doctorate, tuition assistance. So it's beyond if you're just in right now. If you're already, even if you're graduated, there are so many opportunities, whether if you choose to stay full-time, active duty, or if you say, hey, I just want to do this 1 week in a month, there's reserve and guard. Matter of fact, 2016 Miss America, she was a Virginia State ROTC grad. So time she's a cadet. She helps assist us over at Howard University in our ROTC program. The other time, she's doing her own business. So you don't have to do full-time military. There's so many ways to serve. There's so many benefits. There's so many ways to get money, but to pursue your career, take advantage of it. Stop by the table, stop by our session, and learn more. Learn tell them what you want, what your degree is, and what kind of career you want to pursue. And then we can show you how the Army can help you meet that.
Yeah, now let me say, what age group does it go up to too? From what age to what? Like how old can you be? So just in case we have some people over 25, over 30, what's the age that they can do this?
So without waiver for ROTC, you have to be projected to commission before 31. But you can be up to 34 with a waiver.
Okay, so up to 31, but up to 34 with the waiver. Okay. Well, you have been phenomenal. Thank you so much as always. We'll keep working on the weekends to chill. And it's all just about information is powerful. It's a movement. That's what I've been saying. So thank you for joining us. You guys go to their session. Right now, there are sessions that are happening. So go to their session and check it out. And they'll give you all the information. They'll walk you through. They'll hold your hand. I have another student right now that is, she's a graduate of Fort Valley State. She's commissioned U.S. Army Officers Program. She is smiling from ear to ear. He's like, I can do it on my own. I never have to go anywhere. I
can do it for a job
at home.
So you go from commission walking across the stage to getting paid. That's a beautiful feeling.
Yes, and having people under you too. That's like you're the boss. When you graduate, you're the boss.
I'm gonna tell you just this. When you walk in the room and they say, attention, that's a powerful feeling, y'all. That is a powerful feeling.
Like this to you when you walk in. It's like, woo.
Indoors, they won't salute, but they stand. So that's
Okay.
a lot of power. That is
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
is.
power.
Yeah, that is.
And that's a wonderful feeling. Stop by, see us, meet me in the
Girl
session.
girl magic. You fit all the categories. Girl magic, black girl magic, color, everything. Mom magic, everything.
Yeah.
All
Mom.
right. Thank you so much. Have an incredible day. Go to their sessions, you guys. Everybody's in their session. We have over 25 companies. We're getting ready to bring up our manager of our internships and careers so she can share what we're doing for you throughout the year every day to help you connect. Love you, my sister. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Hey, Denise.
Hi, guys.
I wanted everybody to meet our new manager of internships and careers, Miss Denise Parker. And Denise is leading the way for us to create a bigger movement and a bigger splash to help you connect to careers and beyond. So, Denise, tell them what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Price. I'm so excited to be here for our virtual Career Expo. It's an opportunity for us to get together and share all our, resources through our careers and our internships. I'm the manager of Internship and Careers, our program, one of our 5 programs at National College Resources Foundation. And I'm here to serve you. Make sure you guys have your resumes prepared. You guys know how to prepare for a virtual interview or even an in-person interview when it's time. Also see our wonderful page of all our opportunities. I will be at the National College Resources Foundation booth to answer any personal questions on how to navigate, how to work within an NCRF or abroad. We have great resources in our internships and careers program. We have programs through the Links, who is also a featured booth here today. The Links is a great program for our construction or engineering majors or college students. Great opportunity that's going to lead to a high-paying job. We have them here at our virtual career expo today. So I just want to let you guys know that if you guys need help with your LinkedIn page, wardrobe, the whole 9, Internships and Careers package you up, and get you ready to go out to the real world and get your life, get your career, and exceed. We want you to find your passion. Is that right, Dr. Price?
Yes, your passion. So every day, tell them how they can reach you. Give them your email or let them know how they can reach you, and let them know that in your booth you're going to have where they can upload their resumes and all of that too.
Great. Inside, you can reach me at Denise@thecollegeexpo.org. Denise@thecollegeexpo.org. When you go to our group,
put it on the chat too when you get in.
I'm going to put it on the chat. I'm going to actually put in the chat our link. That is going to help you more so than ever. We also have featured today United Airlines. Matthew Smith is going to be talking about many different opportunities in the aviation field for you and career paths you can go if you're in the mechanical sciences and you want to get your hands dirty and work in that field. That's what you could do. Hold on, I'm trying to log into the chat. Chat's having a funny moment. Don't worry, we okay. We're gonna keep it pushing.
Yeah, that's all right. Keep it pushing. You're an actress, you're a dancer, you know what to do.
So in regards to, there you go, here it is in the chat. In regards to sending me your resume, you will go to our page on our internship and career site on National College Resources Foundation. It's a quick upload. It's easy to follow through. You submit your resume on our button, and it makes you fill out our profile sheet, our internship and career profile form, so that I can better assist you and know what your capabilities are, your skills, and also what field you're interested in, what industry you're interested in. You could be interested in communications, from business to entrepreneurship, from STEAM, even entertainment in general, front of the scenes and behind the scenes. So there's so many different opportunities that you're going to be exposed here. So I'm so excited to see you join and grow within National College Resources Foundation. We want your resumes. Your resumes is what we need. And if you don't have a resume, guess what? We're here to help you do that. We'll help you package you, get you all ready to go. Does that help, Dr. Price?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I'm excited. So if you guys have any, make sure you go to our polls. Please fill out the polls. We're going to do special gifts for the people who fill out the polls. We're going to choose, and we always like giving, so we're going to make you happy. So we have some more guests coming on. Denise, phenomenal. We're going to be, if you're in school, make sure you go to our website, ncrfoundation.org. Click under students, and there's also one under college students. The college students actually one is for everybody, but both of them can be. So we just want to make sure we have your resume on file. We're creating a resume pool so that we have, as employers reach out to us, we're able to send out your resumes to them. It's all free. So, we're just here to serve. We're trying to change the world. We're trying to close the gap on workforce. So we'll be joining. Actually, I have a young lady coming up soon, Myra Edelin, and she is going to empower you. When I tell you she's with HP, but she just told me a little bit and she had me ready to go run. I feel like I could run a mile in 2 minutes. No, she's just incredible. So undeniable. I want to say, let me tell you the name of her seminar. Look, I'm just making sure I got everything here. I got everything going at the same time. I just want to make sure I say it. I should let her say, but I want to say it. I want to say it. Look, I want to say it. I want to say it. So let me go to this is what I love about being live. Look, you go through. This is what we do. This is what we do. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Where is it? You know what? That's a shame. Why you can't find stuff when you're looking for it? Denise, why you can't find stuff when you're looking for it?
I don't know. You don't know how you can't. It's just everything's just hidden in one. But I do want to stress this, you guys.
Okay,
if
go
you
ahead.
guys are having issues with post-COVID, all those things, we're here to help you, to get you resources during this post-COVID time. So we're here to support you. So that's why Internship and Careers come to our booth at the National College Resources Foundation booth.
We are.
You can learn information about the post-COVID opportunities that are available for you right now so that you won't have any hiccups in getting a job or an opportunity. Okay?
Right. You are right. Okay. So coming up now, look, I got it now. First, let me say that all the companies here today are, we have a list of a lot. So you want to make sure you meet with the California Highway Patrol, DDUC, FBI, Kaiser Permanente, School of Allied Health, Link, Citadel, LA Urban League Backstage Program. The Urban LA League, they have a backstage theater, like for the movie companies. So it's theater to work in the movie and films, backstage careers, construction, Career Academy, Operation Hope, AFLAC, U.S. Secret Service, strictly for community college students, then U.S. Secret Service for everyone, American Job Center, U.S. Department of Agriculture, Sprint, U.S. Air Force, Thurgood Marshall College Fund. They have a ton of internships. Emma Bowen Foundation, I've been partnering with them forever. They have jobs in the media, radio, TV, film, digital media, AIG, City Year, Nickelodeon, LA Development Authority, West Point, Illumination Entertainment, Blue Sky Studios, Warner Media, National College Resources, and of course, the U.S. Army. So we are bringing up now our incredible speaker. You got to just get to know. You're going to fall in love like I did. Build a brand and a presence that is undeniable. Let me say that again. Build your brand and presence that is undeniable. That's what she's speaking of. So let's bring her up. Here we go.
Okay. What can you? CAM.
Oh, I got him wrong. Now I got you in. Remove yourself.
No, she's not registered yet. She's not in that.
Okay, there we go.
Hi, Dr. Price.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna see if I can just have you by yourself, and I'm gonna remove myself so you can get it going.
All right, let's do this.
The turn up is right here with Miss Elderly.
Thank you so much. Let me get my screen going. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. You guys might have to check back in with me to make sure, but hi everyone. I am so excited to be here with you all. I work at HP. I'm actually a director for the US sales team, and I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, believe it or not. But I'm very excited today to spend some time with you. I think one of the things that has really been prevailing, especially during COVID-19, is how people start to separate themselves from the pack. And so I've been on an interesting journey. My team I work with has been on an interesting journey. And so I'm very excited to share with you today just some tips and tricks on how to not only identify your brand, but really how to elevate it, how to start standing out amongst your peers who are also rocking it, and how to contribute differently to the world. And then I have a special treat for you to really talk about how to show up digitally, how to really make a presence on LinkedIn, and hopefully land that next job that you guys are eager to get. So let me move to the next screen and just talk a little bit about my journey. So born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as I mentioned, I've been at HP now 11 and a half years. Prior to that, I actually worked in the financial industry. So Wells Fargo was where I started, then moved on to Wachovia. And my last stint in that world was really being a financial analyst. And it was wonderful. I was in the commodity business. So think about rough and uncut diamonds, crude oil, really, really large deals, and had a ton of fun doing that. I went to Arizona State University and graduated. And, from there, I just really was like, honestly, I want to be with movers and shakers. I want to move to Los Angeles. That's what we're going to do. And so on that journey, I bumped my head a lot. So I was someone who, played sports, really had thought about, okay, I want to walk on at Arizona State for basketball, want to continue my career there. But when I saw all the opportunity, I just got so excited. I was like, nope, scratch that. I want my own apartment. I wanted to start building wealth. I really want to figure out how to make money. That was my main focus, was money, money, money. So if it was talking about money, count me in. And one of the first endeavors I did was actually in real estate. So I used to flip houses. I bought my first piece of real estate when I was 19 years old, way too young, side note. But I was just eager and learning from mentors that, really were giving me game on, how to really be a part of that world and that industry. So fast forward, I'm living in Los Angeles. I'm doing the commodity thing. I'm hanging out, going to really cool events, a lot of inclusive events where you could network, and it all comes crashing down. The place I was working at, they bellied up. They had a fraudulent deal go really wrong. And so that was kind of like, okay, I don't want to be a part of this company. Lost the boyfriend, really had no family and friends there. So, for me, it was like, okay, mom, I need to move back. And, I'm coming back to Albuquerque. So when I got here about 2 weeks in, I had a really great friend from high school reach out to me. And, she said, hey, HP is hiring. And I'm like, I don't know anything about technology. And she's like, no, don't worry. They do sales. You'll totally be game on. Like, you'll absolutely love it. And so for me, I was like, okay, sounds good. I need to rebuild. I need to get out of mommy's house. I need to figure this out. So hopped right in. And can I just tell you, it's been the world's biggest blessing. I was telling Dr. Price when we were talking last week that some of the best movers and shakers are at HP, out of every place I've been, out of every company I've worked at. And the culture is just spot on. I mean, my favorite thing about it is if you have an idea or you have a way to improve a process or a project or a way we flow, no one tells you, no, sorry, you can't do that, or you need to go through these 10 steps to figure it out. It's really just honestly, yeah, if you have it, get a team together, let's figure it out, pitch it, and let's roll with it. And I just love it because it allows us to be boundless, right? We don't have boundaries. You're not just your job title. You're really a huge contributor to what HP is doing. So what I wanted to talk about today was how to build your brand. When I started as a sales rep, then I moved up into management, and now I'm an executive at HP. I'm one of the youngest executives. And on that journey, someone had asked me when I was going for the manager role, and I was preparing for the interview, they're like, well, what's your brand? What's your style? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I guess I work hard. Like, I think I'm a go-getter. And they're like, no, why are you uniquely Mara? What makes you very different than everyone else? And so as I had to reflect and be super introspective, I just recognized there's so much more to me than the titles, than just the failures and successes, and just a lot to think about. So what I wanted to step you through today, and hopefully you have a pencil and a paper, because there are going to be things you're going to have to really pause, ponder, and even come back to the drawing board in a couple of weeks, is really how to identify your brand. So we'll start, super basic. So we'll start with passions. To me, these are the things that, you can talk about endlessly. For me, it's business and entrepreneurship. Prior to even having, a real job with a real corporation, my dad had his own company. And so I learned a lot about how to be marketing and CEO and the actual salesperson, how to be the actual accountant and manage the finances. So for me, it's one of my passions. Like when someone has a creative new idea or they want to start something new and fresh, like I'm game on, all about it. The other thing I'm super passionate about is sports. I talked a little bit about basketball, but I also played soccer and, was a high performing athlete here in New Mexico. And, for me, I can just, if you want to talk about Curry or Kobe or whatever it is, like those are just the things that get me super, super excited. And it's a part of what I do. When I also think of passions, I think about like, what's that part of my job or when I was in school, like what really did I love most about it? And I'll tell you at HP, my favorite thing is just serving others. When I see others succeed, that is like my jam. It's true in sports. I also coach sports, but at work, seeing others succeed is, super, super powerful for me. So that gives you a sense of when I say, what are your passions, what I'm talking about. The next thing to think about are like your superpowers. Like what are those gifts you are given that you do better than anyone else? Or if you were to ask a friend or, one of your fellow colleagues, wherever you work or in school, like, hey, what award would you be known for? To me, that is your superpower. And for all of us, it's very different, but we have one or two gifts that really help us drive towards our purpose and what it is we want to do. Just to give you an example, right? If I think about what do I do better than anyone else, I honestly had to go ask people this question because it's very hard to sometimes brag about yourself or figure out how to really elevate and talk about what you're saying. But one of my really great mentors said, I think you are the best player coach. And I'm like, what do you mean by that, Mike? And he said to me, you are super coachable and you want to learn and you're very humble in that way. But once you learn and figure it out, like the way you can pivot and coach someone else to be amazing on that exact same topic, he's like, I've never seen anyone do it like you. So I was like, perfect, I'm taking that. I love it, player coach. And if I had to think of an award, I think people would say keeping it real and being super honest is, something they'd probably give me an award for, or maybe even being a confidant, like someone they feel like they can go to and talk about their life experiences and, the amazing and or bad things going on in their world. This is probably actually the biggest piece, and I'm going to double click. I shared a little bit with you about my journey, but I'm going to double click into some of the things that are really core to who I am here in a moment. But your values, your experiences is a huge part of what makes your brand. It's what triggers you. It's what inspires you. And it's your deeply rooted story and exactly how you came out of certain situations that really build this aspect of your brand. Example, right? For triggers for me and what also inspires me are things related to diversity. Because I'm a minority, because I'm a female, and because I'm young, and especially working at HP, anything related to diversity, whether good or bad, I mean, it burns my little heart in really great ways. And it's just one of those things. Naysayers, when someone's like, oh, I don't know if Mara can do that. Something else that really triggers and inspires me. Sorry about that. Let me move that over. And so, again, I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, but I think some of the other things that come out of the story that you'll hear in a moment are, around growth mindset, being well-rounded, and some of the ways in which my parents very specifically raised me. And then last, but certainly not least, is kind of your purpose. Like, I always ask people when they're going for roles, like I get there, going for a sales role right now. Perfect. Love it. Amazing. Let's talk about it. But I always ask, like, what is your dream job? That usually tells me a ton about like what's really in their heart. What were they born with that, they really want to make sure they achieve and contribute in the world. I also like to ask, like, if you won the lottery, like, how would you spend your time, right? And so, when I think about like my purpose as an example, I went through a lot, and, at a very young age, which can be good and can be bad. That can make or break you. And one thing that really came out strong for me out of that was my faith, right? I had really stepped away from that when I was going through my focus on money. And when I adjusted myself to focusing on serving others, volunteering, getting outside of my own head and my own emotions, that's when abundance started to come to me. That's when roles and opportunities came to me. That's when my debt started to figure itself out with my hard work. And so for me, my purpose, and I'm super clear on it, is to use any platform that I am given to shine my light and to give gifts and learnings and things back into the world similar to this moment. I just know it's why I was placed here. So the question I have for everyone, and I just want you to think about, is like, how are you showing up today? What if you went to, 10, 15, 20 of your closest friends, family, colleagues, what would they say about you? Go ask them, like, what's 3 words, 3 adjectives you think about when you think about me, Mara? And then I think on the flip side, you all are in a great position to start to think about, well, what do I want to be known for? Like, if my grandkids were, reflecting back and looking on my story, like, what is it at my core I want to be known for? And what do I need to adjust in order to show up in that way? So I said a lot of things, and a lot of you are probably like, okay, I have no clue where to start. What does she mean? Can you go a little deeper? So let me just double click on this. So, a lot of times when we introduce ourselves, we definitely talk about our titles, where we've lived, a couple of things that we have that are interesting. On the left here, all the words you kind of see pointing in an arrow shape are experiences that have happened from a young age to now that have really shaped all the words you guys see on the right. When I think about, my parents getting divorced when I was a teenager, during that same kind of 3-year period of them going through separation and the official divorce, I had 17 funerals to attend and family members to work with, right? And, that was really, really stressful for me. But I know that's why I'm super tough at things, right? I was shooting guard in high school, and that's what I was, working towards when I wanted to walk on at ASU. And, when I wasn't a shooting guard and my point guard needed to take a break, my coach would have me slide into point guard. And so for me, that's why I know I carry a certain confidence. I know I'm clutch in the 4th quarter if you want to bring me in the last 10 seconds. So that makes up a lot of that. I was a straight A student. My parents expected nothing less than that. And, for me, I know that's why I, am a winner. I know that's why I'm resilient. I know that's why I'm a learner. I know that's why I'm coachable and driven. And all these things you see here have really built up, exactly who I am. And so that really helps me identify, why I'm so different than the next person. Yes, a lot of people can be driven, right? But they're not the perfect makeup of who you are. And so any experience you have, whether it's joyful, whether it's painful, whether if it's a success or failure, and how you come out of it absolutely makes you exactly who you are and a part of your brand. So great. Let's say you go through the exercise of asking people, you get a sense of, okay, this is who I am. This is, what people say when I leave a room and what they think of me. And oh, by the way, I want to be known to do cybersecurity, or I want to be known to share incredible content as a marketing person. Whatever that is, it's really about how do you elevate your brand and how do you figure out how to separate yourself from your peers. So one thing I've noticed in my work group and my team as of late is, there's a distinct difference now between people who are getting it done versus making it happen. My team end to end, they get it done. They're on top of their work. They're super professional. They're great to work with. But the cream of the crop are making it happen. When HP says something like, hey, we're focused on diversity, the type of people I'm talking about, they hop in and figure out, hey, what's some cool things we can get involved in to really amplify diversity? They don't allow it to be just something our executive leadership team talks about. They really want to figure out how to make it happen. The other one I love, I went to a great women's seminar one year. This was probably like 6 years ago. And they said, this lady said, your work actually doesn't speak. It doesn't talk. When people are like, well, my work should speak for itself. No, it doesn't. So, learning how to very professionally and smoothly, share and brag about what you do, what you accomplish, what you're a part of is another way you can just start to elevate your brand and separate yourself from the group. Pioneer and be you. If you have a great idea and you are one of those people who think big, keep thinking that way. Be unapologetic, be persistent, and be a pioneer. Because if everybody wanted to do that, it would already be happening. And it's probably not. And it's probably why you have that idea. So being a pioneer, being willing to take a risk and do something for the first time, if you're amongst a team, super, super cool. And those are the people who rise to the top. You guys probably could tell when I talked about servitude, it's super important, but elevating others. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made early in my career was I wanted to be number one. I was your typical salesperson, like super competitive, ultra over the top. And it was always about, how can I succeed? How can I be awesome? And one of the things that really shifted, for me, especially working at HP, was, all about, how I want to, elevate others. How do I really, really, really want to, bring them up, lift them up, and be awesome? And then last but not least is showing up digitally. I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn because honestly, a ton of interns, new college hires, or even some of the veterans we work with that are, shifting over into, regular civilian work. I often find they actually don't have a LinkedIn page, nor do they understand the power of LinkedIn. So I want to talk about that for a moment. 1 second, Tiffany, I see you're not seeing my PowerPoint. So that's great. I do have a PowerPoint for everyone. I don't know why it's not sharing, but that's okay. We're going to keep rocking. The joy of live, right? All right, so let's talk about LinkedIn for a moment. Let me just give you some stats and data on what's going on the platform. So it has 675 million members. There's over 36,000 skills that people have identified they're good at or want to be known for. 50 million companies, 17 million jobs at any given point posted on LinkedIn. And then on a daily basis, there's 16 million actual activities that are happening on the platform. And over 280 billion pieces of knowledge that sit there live that people are placing on the platform. And, this is an incredible eye-opening thing. I'm new to social media, so trust me, this is a new 8-month journey for me. And so some of you might be obviously more familiar with Instagram, TikTok. I haven't participated in any of those platforms, but when it comes to business, whether you are already landed a job and you want to figure out how to meet customers through LinkedIn, or if you're trying to find a job, LinkedIn is a bad mamma jamma, and it is super important that you're showing up there. The first thing I would say if you're brand new, you don't even have a profile, or maybe you do and you're trying to figure out, is you do have to build an A++ profile. What I mean by that is you need to have a professional picture, not the cute selfie in the car with the seatbelt on and the hoodie, but a very professional picture on LinkedIn. You need to have a description of yourself once you've identified your brand and some of those key words that really describes who you are, right? There's an incredible, you guys can't see my slide deck, so I'm just gonna talk you through this. Hopefully you can visualize it, but there's this incredible woman I follow on LinkedIn. And, you know, when you look at her title, she's not just an HR director, right? She puts author, speaker, executive coach, global citizen, passionate about youth development and women empowerment. So off top, when I see her profile, she's way more than a picture and way more than an HR director. I can tell she's up to completely different things, right? She's not bounded by what her profile says at her company. She's actually spread herself into a completely different person on LinkedIn, and you get a great sense of who she is. Behind her profile picture, she has a banner, and it's really a picture that expresses even more of who you are. So if you participated in something cool, if you were featured, you know, in a magazine or on a billboard, if you have an incredible team or you've spoken in front of a class and someone got a cool picture of it, those are the types of things that really personalize your LinkedIn profile. So I absolutely recommend starting to share, you know, some of that. I will have a session after this where hopefully my slide deck works, just to give you guys some people that I've noticed that I really follow. There's another gentleman who I found, and his profile's muddy. I'm like, man, we got to get him at HP, but his name's McKinley. And he is a student. He just got done doing the Gucci program for scholars back in the fall of 2020. But when you look at his profile, I mean, he has 500 plus connections. You can tell the different internships he's had. He talks about what he's learned and how he's excited. You know, he posts about the things that really bring him joy with whatever it is he's participating in. And you can tell he looks at LinkedIn as like, hey, my day can be a string of posts that I put out to the world to not only show, you know, who I am and how I move, but to really make sure my brand is known. So if he goes into an interview and I go check LinkedIn, which I do that now, you know, I'm already super familiar with McKinley and very aware of his style. So the types of questions I'll ask him in an interview go far deeper than the average, well, you know, tell me why you think you'll be great at this, right? I can go much deeper, like, hey, tell me more about this. I saw this on your LinkedIn profile. So, okay, you have your profile ready to go. And, you know, I wanted to kind of break this down in 3 easy steps for you guys. Okay, so step 1, we've talked about, hopefully you guys did take notes, but, you know, how to develop your brand and strategy. And once you've developed that and decided what your expertise is, what your goals are, who you want your audience to be, you know, you're kind of golden to move to the next step. Step 2 for me is connect with a purpose. So there's some cool advanced search functions. So for those of you who haven't used LinkedIn before, you know, if you go to the advanced search section and go to the extra filters, you know, you can find very specific people. As an example, you know, if you live in Texas and that's the place you want to still be when you know, step into your professional career, in LinkedIn, you can find every recruiter in Texas. And if you're like, well, I need to be more specific, I want it to be a recruiter for sales or a recruiter for healthcare, there are those filters as well. So the advanced search is golden, it's money. Join groups, follow influencers, follow companies you're interested in so you can get a vibe of what they're up to and what they're doing. And then engage with insights. If you see something that really resonates with you, if there's a post you love, you know, when you're in the middle of those connections, you know, talk about it. If a recruiter is posting something interesting, maybe unrelated to a job, you know, pause and engage with that content and kind of get your name, you know, floating through their mind as someone who genuinely is connecting with them. And then step 3, start posting. It's very different than Instagram and TikTok. But I would encourage you to do what I call LinkedIn listening, right? Spend a couple weeks just watching what's going on the platform, get a sense of, you know, what people are talking about. And when you've identified your expertise or your goals, you know, for me as an example, one of mine is robotics and artificial intelligence. It's not something I know a lot about, but I know the world is moving that way. And so the way I specifically pay attention to news articles is related to things that are like artificial intelligence and robotics. So I try to stay in my lane and be super consistent when I'm posting. And then there's the power of hashtags and tagging. Most of you will laugh at this, but 6 months ago, I thought a hashtag was just a smart, funny way to sum up your post. But on LinkedIn, there's actually power in it. So I'll give you an example. If I posted something about sustainability and I use the hashtag sustainability, when you go search that hashtag specifically, sustainability has like 7 million followers. So the likeliness of your post actually making it into, you know, someone else's feed, if you use something like hashtag sustainability, it's awesome. It's also a great place to learn, right? If you go to hashtag sustainability and you can see all the posts that are going on that day, you know, you also get to learn a ton from the industry and what's happening. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, I really wish you guys could see my slides because I want you guys to put a face with the name, but there's 4 individuals that I've been blessed that have come into our company as interns. And these 4 individuals have undeniable brands. And I just wanted to give you an example. So the first one's Ariana. She's actually a mom of 3, you know, went to college a little later in life, single mom. And, you know, for me, the lesson I've learned from her is that you got to lead, take charge, and go for it. So she's fresh out of her internship. The natural progression is for someone to go into a sales rep role. Well, there was a sales manager role that was open and she went for it. And, you know, someone who just has that grit and who, you know, has that confidence and wants to learn and wants to understand the process and wants to compete. I just love it, right? She does this with everything, but, you know, it just really resonated with me that, you know what, her brand is she's always going to take charge, take the lead and go for it. There's another gentleman, Montana, and I remember interviewing him and I'm like, how's he gonna fit in sales? Like super techie, super smart, like not your typical like bright personality salesperson. And you know, what he taught me is you have to create what needs to be created. So he didn't do, I mean, he did the normal intern stuff that we, you know, try to teach him our tools and process, how to talk to customers, how to learn about business acumen, how to forecast the business. But he saw a gap in our training program. And so because it's his jam, within a couple of days, you know, he came up with this gamification and how interns can learn in a cool way. And he created this whole thing, this whole platform for interns to have a more fun and engaging way to learn. And I'm like, Montana, you are the man. Like who does that? But I love it. Abigail, so she taught me that when you join, don't be timid and just do the role that you're asked to do. So she diversified her circle right away. And what she did is, yes, she stepped into the sales organization, but she's a marketing student. So she went out and found who the different marketing people were, who the different recruiters were, and got engaged and started getting these other opportunities outside of the sales world to, you know, be featured on, you know, our Instagram careers page, to be featured and take photographs of, you know, a huge event and all these things she was into. And so I love that because she didn't stay in her circle. And then the last one I'm going to share, and I'm, you know, Dr. Price, I don't know if it's Q&A or what we're rolling with, but I'll open it up after this, is a guy by the name of Armani. He actually doesn't work at HP yet. But I met him at the National Black MBA Association conference. This was, I guess, 2 years ago. And when he came up to the booth, he, you know, was like, listen, I'm a football player. I don't have the internships my peers have, you know, but I'm hungry, I'm eager, and I'm ready. I'm like, okay, Armani, I love it, right? I'm loving it, especially the sports aspect. And so when I started to ask him, like, you know, typical corporate interview questions, he was struggling. He's like, well, I've never had experience. I said, okay, let me bring it to your level. What position do you play? He's like, I'm a running back. I said, okay. So I already have a sense of his mindset because he's a running back. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, tell me, what's the number one thing your coach would tell me if I were to ask him, hey, what don't you like about Armani on the field? He said, well, sometimes I'll see an opening on the defense and I won't run the play. The quarterback and my coach called. I do my own thing. And I'm like, okay, Armani, let me tell you why that's not going to work if you got a job at HP, because, you know, we work with tons of organizations to get the job done. But as we went through the conversation and I understood his strengths and weaknesses on the field, you know, I gave him some coaching on how he needs to know how to translate that right to the corporate world, because it's super relevant. His mindset, how he flows, he had some grit, right? He was a red shirt and moved to the starting position. All of that matters when I think about who I want to hire. Those days of, you have 25 years experience, you got the job. For some of us leaders, that's out the door. I want a mover and shaker. I want someone a little bit smarter than me. And I want someone that's really going to raise the bar for everyone else that enters into the company, right? When I hire, I want to hire the next C-level executive. I don't want to just hire a sales rep, right? I want someone that's going to grow, flourish, and teach me and my team a tremendous amount. So that's all I had, Dr. Price. I'll stop there. I'm like, join me.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just want to tell you, if you want to show your screen at the bottom, it says share screen.
I did.
And did you click on it?
I did. I did all that.
You did? Oh,
Yes, ma'am. That's okay, though.
You know what? But when you share, you have to read the thing.
Yeah, I did.
Because I want you to be able to do that. So if you have things and you just want to show them, you can still show. Let me see if I do this.
So like right now I'm sharing. It says everyone can see and hear you.
See me? I just want to change it to you. See your screen?
I had that up.
No, but you got to hit the bottom when it comes up. Let me go. You got to, when you click on you, see your thing is at the bottom, click on. Let me see if I can do you. Hold on. I'm going to try to see. Try to see. Let's see here.
Yeah, it says I'm sharing, but I don't know why it's not.
Okay. Well,
Can you guys see it now? All right, Dr. Price, you're gonna have to come back in. I'm like, well, I guess I can briefly just show you the slides. Miss Tiffany's helping me over here. Let's see. Okay. So we can move to Q&A in chat. Although I just see private chat and comments. So
Mara, they can see they can see you're good.
okay, we can move to Q&A. I can't see Q&A though.
okay. So I'm here with you. So let's do this in the chat.
Okay.
Let's share. You know what I'm wondering? Okay. We're trying to do some creative things here. Let's see if we have any
virtual and live
questions. Hold on. I got you. Woo, woo. Hold on. We're going to see.
I love Dr. Price.
We're going to see. I got to be creative. Because I noticed when I brought you couldn't hear me. So I want to make sure. Let's see what questions you have. Let me go to the stage. Okay, I'm in the event. Let me go to the stage. Going to the stage. Okay, here we go. Let's see what chatting we have. Okay, Tiffany said yes. Thank you, Myra, for the information. And someone else said yes, they can see your screen. Folks, to see the presentation, they can meet you at the breakout session. So she said, okay. Everybody know that you're going to go back to this and you can actually bring them on.
I am. And it's going to be a little more interactive.
You'll be able to let everybody in and you can talk to one-on-one.
Oh, that's okay. Perfect.
So we're good because there's no other questions. I'm looking to make sure. Thank you for the information. Somebody said, yeah. So you're good. You are good.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're good. So it's amazing. And you're amazing.
Thank you, Dr. Price.
So there we go. All right. Let me see. Someone wants to tell you that the information is useful, extremely well presented.
Okay, good deal. Even without slides, that's good.
Yeah, so that means you're good. You rocked it. You
Okay.
rocked it. That's
That's
what somebody wrote. Great information and tips. Yes. Are there any tips you have when it comes to building a brand outside of the corporate world? Or is it the same?
Ooh.
I'll say it again. Is there any tips you have when it comes to building a brand or present outside of the corporate world? Or is it the same?
So I'm not a marketing expert.
So say they might be an entertainer, say they might be entrepreneur, they may be, they may be not in what you call corporate America, but they're in a business. They might run a business or they might be in a business where they don't consider corporate. But to me, if you're in entertainment or athlete or whatever, it's still
Yeah.
yourself in a certain way. So there, he or she is asking, Timothy Neal, is there a difference? Is there a different way they should present themselves if it's not corporate world?
Yeah, so Timothy, great question. Yeah, so I think I can effectively answer this probably to an extent, although I'm not a marketing expert. But I think that even for me, when I think about like, okay, do I want to shake something and do my own business? First and foremost, nowadays, you have to have a following. You have to have a digital presence. You have to show your personality, right? People are starting to buy from brands, especially if you're a startup, really because of who you are and because they're vibing with your product and what you're doing, right? So I think, some of what I shared about LinkedIn is applicable no matter what business you're trying to start or what you're trying to do. I think you have to show up. I think you have to dig deep into your purpose, your why, your objective. And I think you have to really go there when it comes to any social platform nowadays, because that's where a lot of people are hanging out. Like social's not even my thing, but everybody's there, right? Everyone is hanging out there. So you kind of have to adapt and adjust to that. So I would say it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think, as I even look at, a lot of people probably don't know. So when my undergrad is in broadcast journalism, and I wanted to be a newscaster, and I wanted to be an actress. So I was in that zone. And then I remember when you look at, when you think about acting, you have to be all in. There's no part-time. If you want to go into acting or really anything, athlete, any of those, you have to go all in. So with that's why a lot of people wait tables, they do those kind of things. And for me, I wanted to get my college education. So I said, well, what is the closest thing to that? Because, I knew I wasn't going to be able to be available. If you're in school in class, you can't just leave and go do a role, right? So I decided to go into broadcast journalism. So I did that, and I did an internship in television. I worked at Channel 2. And then I remember right when I graduated, I actually got offered, and I ended up doing an internship in radio. So I'll tell everyone, if you're already in and you want to change your field, the internet offers so many resources for you to be able to do that. YouTube video. There's so many videos, Vimeo, YouTube, that can allow you to learn how to edit, produce anything. And I'm not just talking about entertainment. I just mean in general.
Yeah, everything.
A tie, a bow tie, everything is there. So if you're in a position where you're working and you want to go to a different field, then I say start going to those places to network with people that are in those fields. And start reading up on and start asking people to mentor, share information. If you are trying to get into something that you want, same thing. When you say, try to be around, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Well, you bring up a good point, right? Like as you go on this journey and you see someone like, they look major, but they're like marketing and doing what I'm doing. What you'll find what I found in the business world, people are excited to mentor and help others, right? So don't be intimidated if you catch someone on LinkedIn that you're like, man, I like what they're doing, or I would love to be a part of that team. You'll be surprised how many people want to reach back and, help you and give you some game on, how to break into that industry.
No, you're right. You're right. And as I tell everybody needs a mentor, a coach, and an advocate. Even Obama, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
name them. They all, everybody needs a mentor, a coach, and an advocate. And it's just about that. So look for those people and try to surround your people around the industry or whatever you're trying to go into. Because whoever would have thought I never thought about nonprofit, being in the nonprofit world. I was in the entertainment and, did that. And then I went into music. I was managing recording artists and doing deals with Lil Wayne, Baby, Cash Money, and Clive Davis. I mean, I was into that world. People probably don't even know I worked in music for years, doing entertainment stuff, managing artists, doing their marketing and helping them. And then I get this book because you start working with a lot of young people I was managing, and a lot of them had deals at RCA and Sony and Epic and all that. And I fell in love with helping young people. So you got to look and pay attention while you're here. And I was reminded several times that I'm here to be a vessel for young people. And I actually, as much as I thought I love entertainment, I'm going to tell you, I love helping young people.
Way more fun.
I love to see people like having you on to share your passion. That's what I love doing, and that you're able to share and empower others. So, I'll just say, just look for the signs and look for the things that just come kind of like they just woven together. They just kind of just work. And so when people talk about marketing yourself outside of corporate world, I think you're always marketing yourself. You want to be your best self. You want to be your best you. You want to have integrity. You want to mean what you do what you say you're going to do. People look at you. You got to think about it, guys. How do you want to be known? When you leave this world, what do you want to be known for? That's what you got to think about. Your dash in your life. Like, what impact are you making? What do you want to be known for? So as you talk about branding yourself and all that, what do you want to be known for?
Yep. And every moment is an interview, Dr. Price, right? Especially now, my mind is wide open for talent, right? I'm like, y'all got to come to HP. But sometimes I'll just be somewhere like at the mall. And if someone's handling their business, I talk to them, so it's like how you move through the world constantly. It's a constant interview. People do pay attention to how you dress and how you carry yourself and who you surround yourself with. So I love that.
Yes. And it's so funny you just said that. I was working out at the gym and the guy next to me was on the treadmill with me and we started talking. Guess what? I hired him a week later.
See?
You just don't know. So, and I think remember everybody, you never know who's listening and you always want to present yourself in the best you. And I think that's probably the best, Yeah. And I'm just looking at,
one of the questions I get a lot.
Adrian Johnson for hanging. Okay, so they're just they're saying no. People are talking and chatting, and that's good.
Okay, yeah. One of the questions I get asked a lot. I do. Huh? Yes, ma'am, I do.
So I guess follow Mariah.
Mara, yeah.
I'm looking at all. I'm all over the place. Follow Myra right now. She's gonna, just follow her. She gets up and walks over to her virtual booth. This young lady, it's just so fun. You're an athlete. You are a superstar athlete. And I mean, just look at where you are. You are an entrepreneur. You bought property at 19. You are a mover and shaker at 19 as a teenager.
And failed and rebuilt all over again.
Don't go through it. How do you know to get better? Thank God you failed when you were younger because you knew what you could appreciate it when you're older. You could.
Dr. Price, tell it. That's exactly.
So good. So kudos to you. We're so proud of you, and we look forward to being there with you. We're in your circle. We're in your village.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so we're in the zone. We have our entertainment panel is going to be happening at 4:30, 4:30 to 5:30. We have some incredible people from Illumination Entertainment, Disney, Nickelodeon, Warner Media, CSAC, and everybody's probably like CSAC. You've heard of BMG. I'm sorry, you heard of BMI and you heard of ASCAP. Well, CSAC is just like them. They basically pay the royalties of the artists that are signed to them. And I think 2 Chainz is signed to CSAC. I think that might be one of them. But whenever their music that they wrote and artists, that music gets placed, whether it's in an elevator, whether it's on a movie, whether it's in a TV show, or anything. The royalty company, which is CSAC, they follow that to make sure that the artist gets the royalties from it's called performance royalties. So just to kind of give you a little bit about that. So we're going to dive, we'll be talking about film, television, music, digital media, all of that. You'll get a chance to meet with them up close and personal, which is awesome, virtually, but you can ask questions. We also have Viacom CBS, Emma Bowen, Blue Sky Studios. So they're all, and these are actually the movers and shakers. These are the ones that get you that opportunity to get you in the door. That's who's going to be talking about what they're looking for, what you need to do. But the good thing is that I feel like we really want to demystify all of the people thinking that when you think of entertainment, they only think about the talent. You only think about the camera, the front of the camera. You don't think about all the jobs that really make that front part go, all the jobs that help the person, the talent, or all the jobs that help the show, or, there's so many different jobs in that field. From, even if you're an engineer, they need engineers. If you're computer science, they need computer information technology, cybersecurity, promotions, marketing, sales. They need economic people. They need, everything you can think of, that they need those in the entertainment. Anything that takes to run a business. I say, even when you think about, highway patrol, or the police departments, like we have New York Police Department, Suffolk Police Department here. They need everything, not just officers. They need they need healthcare professionals. They need HR people. They need computer scientists. They need engineers. They need all those jobs. So I want you guys today, if nothing else, it doesn't matter what you might always say, I like entertainment, but you probably never thought you could work there, because you might say, oh, I do computers. Well, you need people like you there too. So that's what today is about open up your mind to see all the different career fields, all the different fields that are available. So right now we have several things going on. I just want to give you a chance to look at everything. So again, the companies that are ready to meet you, Thurgood Marshall just showed up, so they're there in their booth. We have the Army is doing, just all the different over 300 career fields, but also I love the way the dollars that they make, because the stipends, they get a stipend or allowance. It's just $2,000. That doesn't count the salary. It can be up to $2,000 a month by itself. So if you're making $6,000 a month, that doesn't count your $2,000 a month stipend, and it doesn't count your food allowance money that you get too. So that's why I just, like, when I found out, I'm like, I got to share. The other thing is we have, I wanted to just share all the things so you'll know what's going on. Shout out to Foundation Clothing. They are trend-setting, innovative. As a nonprofit, 10% of their proceeds go to our nonprofit for scholarships. So they just released a line called Cozy Casuals. And I bought two jogging suits, material, the feel of it, the softness. Man, I could wear it every day. I'm sorry. I'd have worn more than once because they're jamming. But I wanted to also share the people that are in session right now that you could go meet with. So right now, because I know people are hopping in and out, we have Aflac should be joining any moment, American Job Center, AIG, Citadel, already said U.S. Army, California Highway Patrol, City Year. They have City Year has they work in a lot of the schools where they provide educational services to low resource students. So they give you like a 12-month, I should say, kind of internship. And then from there, you'll be able to do other things. We also have FBI is here. We also have LA County Development Authority, Kaiser Permanente School of Allied Health Services, Links. We have a position right now with Links constructors, the automated people movers. So they're doing the LAX, the LA airport. They're doing the people mover that they're building right now. And they're looking for engineers, all types of engineers. Spread the word. Have them send the resumes. You can send the resumes to us. We also have the Urban League, which will be doing, they have backstage careers. So they've partnered with some of the movie companies to get people hired in backstage careers like lighting and stage design and all that. They also have construction, career academy, Operation Hope, Nickelodeon is here and their team is here. So they have a lot of openings. And they're also, their VP will be on the panel. Thurgood Marshall College Fund, I shared they're coming on at 4. Suffolk Police, New York. Suffolk Police of New York. They are here. U.S. Air Force, U.S. Secret Service, USDA, Department of Agriculture, Warner Media. So make sure Warner Media, they were Warner Brothers. They only kind of changed to say Warner Media. So make sure that you are there. So I'm going to be actually joining the broadcast for the entertainment panel. I want to go and check and make sure that you guys get all your questions answered. I'm going to make sure right now airs that panel live. So check in with us. Also, let me just tell you, we're doing the career fair today, but we are doing this as a part of our goal to close the workforce gap. That's why we brought in a person, Denise Parker, just to make sure our internships and careers program. And this program is designed to help. Make sure you go to the Emma Bowen booth too. Let me tell you about that. Emma Bowen, if you're a high school senior right now, you will be able to work in the summer. I'm stopping because I want to make sure you guys know. Emma Bowen has partnerships with all the media companies. And what they basically do is they partner together to pay you. They start high school seniors, so really incoming freshmen to college. And they hire up to sophomores in college. I think you could be high school freshman and high school senior, and a college freshman. But they hire you every summer and you work with the media company and you're paid up to $10,000 a summer. You work 8 to 10 weeks, you're paid that, you get the experience. Plus, what I've seen is a lot of people like Nina Drake, who's here. She's the director of Emma Bowen. She was an Emma Bowen student. And I just saw right now too, President Dr. Jill Biden, her communications person is a former Emma Bowen alumni. They went through the Emma Bowen program. So we've been partnering with Emma Bowen for a while over the years. And it's just another resource to provide careers and internships and actually future jobs, future careers for everybody. So I'm noticing, I know the Empire movie, their casting crew, they were a part of the Emma Bowen program. So they have a really, really good program. So whether you're at that stage of a high school senior or college freshman, or you know someone, you're the godparent or the auntie, uncle, cousin, make sure you share that. We post that information on our site, and Denise Parker will make sure you get the connection if you don't get it directly yourself. So I am going to head over to because this platform can hold, I don't think it can hold more than 6 people, and we have about 8 people for the entertainment session. And so we're going to do that in a session. So make sure you join us there. See you in about 12 minutes. All right, take care.